Hey gang, welcome to another Counterculture Kickstarter preview video. Because this is a preview video, please remember that the components and artwork you're about to see are prototypes, and you should check the Kickstarter page for more information about those. As always, the link for the current campaign can be found in the video description and at the end of the video. And please bear in mind that this is not a review. I won't be giving my opinions on the game one way or another. The purpose of this video is solely to provide you with information about the game that should hopefully help you decide if it's the kind of thing that you should back. I hope you find it useful. The end of the world is nigh. A series of cataclysmic events has triggered Ragnarok, the final battle of the Nine Realms. The denizens of each realm gather at the edge of the place on which the battle will surge. All have sent their best to secure their place at the rebirth of the world. Only the victor will populate the new world. Who will be the last realm standing? The War of the Nine Realms is a skirmish game steeped in Norse mythology for 2 to 4 players. You and your friends will each control a race from one of the 9 realms, of which 4 are available in the base box. You are all engaged in Ragnarok, the final great battle, and there are 2 ways you can win. Either cause enough carnage on the battlefield, causing enough wounds to your enemies to fill the blood cauldron before your opponents do, or simply eliminate them by killing their leaders. Each realm fields an army with the same distribution of units: a ruler, a companion, a seer, a champion, a veteran, and 4 standard warriors. However, while the armies share unit types, that is where any similarities end. Each race has been designed to feel and play very differently, and that is achieved by how radically distinct each unit feels depending on what army it's part of. And you can find these differences described on your handy-dandy realm cards. So while the Norsemen's warrior units are vanguards with their unique stats, abilities, and types of attacks, the Ice Jotun field frost spirits, and they can behave very differently. And that's true for all your units. Each army has completely unique characters with different playstyles and affinities for different types of terrain. Speaking of which, this war takes place over hexes, and on each one you can see different types of terrain. Mountains block line of sight and are impassable to everyone unless they have wings. Forests also block line of sight and offer defensive bonuses to units cowering inside. Water drastically slows movement, and the plains do nothing. Lazy plains. And because they're all set in these larger hex tiles, the map is entirely modular. You build a new map every time that you play. In fact, it's a big part of the strategy. At the start of the game, players take turns laying down tiles to form the world and their place within it. Interestingly, unlike a lot of other games, the rules for tile placement are actually pretty loose, enabling players to build some pretty wild map designs, ensuring a huge variety of possible maps to play on. But you're not just restricted to tile placement at the start of the game. No, you can continue to transform the terrain to your liking during play by altering individual hexes to suit your needs. However, this is costly. War of the Nine Realms uses a mechanism called action point allowance. This means on your turn, you and your army are furnished with 9 actions to spend as you choose. Now, it costs 3 to transform a hex, but only 1 to move a unit up to its movement value, or to order a unit to attack a valid target. You can even resurrect fallen warriors in your homeland for a single action. So you're giving up a lot when you decide to transform terrain. Also, a unit can only move and attack once a turn, so you might be tempted to use all your actions on a great sweeping battle march across the board, but be careful. When you are attacked, if you have any remaining action points, you can spend them to counter-attack, and you can do so every time you're attacked, provided you have the actions to pay for them. So it might be better to play defensively. Action point allowance gives you that choice. Actions are a vital resource that you must manage effectively if you're to stand a chance at victory. And speaking of battles, they are resolved fairly simply. You roll the number of dice appropriate for that attack and compare the result to the defense of the unit you're attacking. Now this may be modified by terrain or abilities, but if you roll at least the defense value, you have wounded the unit, bringing it closer to death and you closer to victory. If you're able to roll double the defense value, you inflict 2 wounds and so on. Any natural 12s are automatic wounds. But actions aren't the only important resource at your disposal. Fate cards may well swing the tide of battle. You refill your hand at the start of your turn, but you can play them at any time. Some allow you to make rerolls or force rerolls on your opponent. Others provide you with straight bonuses to attack or defense. Some can even be used to give you more actions. So attacking an opponent who still has a few fate cards in their hand may well be a risky proposition, but at the same time, you probably want to use them during your turn to help you achieve victory. Once again, you're tasked with deciding between aggressive or defensive playing styles, managing the resources available to you. Which brings us to one final possible resource in the game. Your realm card, which details all of your units, is actually double-sided. The heroic side presents a powerful, straightforward army, mainly focused on dealing damage. However, on the reverse, you'll find an epic variant of the army. Epic play introduces the concept of valor. This is the final resource it is possible to play with. The epic versions of your units are similar but distinct from their heroic counterparts, possibly boasting different stats and abilities, some of which you can only activate if you have the valor to pay for it. You get some valor at the start of your turn, but you can also convert 3 actions into a single point of valor. This means playing the epic version of a realm provides a much greater number of decisions to make. You're not just considering everything we've previously discussed, but now you're thinking about which valor-powered abilities you're going to want to activate, when and if it might be worthwhile forgoing some of your standard actions to pull off one more vital valor-powered action. So epic play probably suits experienced players, while the heroic version offers a powerful but accessible version of each realm. Happily, both versions are designed to work together, so while you can play a game where every player uses the heroic or epic versions, you can also mix and match. And that's it, gang. I hope this short overview of War of the Nine Realms has helped you decide if it's something you'd be interested in backing. The link to the project is here and in the video description below. If you're interested in seeing more of my Kickstarter previews or my fully fledged reviews, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. That way you'll be notified as I create new videos. And if you'd like to help me produce new content, you can support me here on Patreon. Until next time, bye bye!